Regret, a force that binds us to the past, is a weight that many of us carry. It is a heavy burden, invisible yet oppressive, lingering long after the moment of error has passed. It shackles us to a world of what-ifs and could-have-beens, dragging us deeper into a spiral of dissatisfaction and sorrow. And yet, as rational beings capable of introspection, we must ask ourselves, what purpose does this regret serve? Does it alter the past, improve the present, or enhance the future? The Stoics knew the answer well. Regret is a thief of time and energy, a force that distorts our view of reality. It is not grounded in the moment we are living, but rather in an illusion, a version of the past we wish we could change, but never will. And so, we are left with a choice: to surrender to the torment of regret or to rise above it, empowered by the knowledge that while we cannot alter the past, we are fully capable of shaping our future. The nature of regret. Before we can conquer regret, we must first understand its nature. Regret stems from a desire for control over things that have already slipped from our grasp. We look back on our choices, our actions, and our failures, and we wish to rewrite them. But this longing is in vain. As Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "What is behind us is beyond our grasp." The past, once lived, is irretrievable. It is as distant from us as the stars in the night sky, glimpsed but unreachable. We must confront this truth head-on. Regret is born from our refusal to accept the unchangeable. It is a rejection of reality, a denial of the natural course of events. And yet, reality does not bend to our will. No amount of longing, wishing, or despairing can undo what has already been done. The Stoic way is to accept this with grace, to release the chains that bind us to a past we cannot change, and to focus on what we can control: our response, our present actions, and our future decisions. The Stoic response to regret. In the face of regret, the true Stoic does not retreat into self-pity or endless rumination. Instead, they stand firm, grounded in the wisdom of the ages. They know that to dwell on past mistakes is to waste the precious moments of the present. As Epictetus teaches us, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Regret, then, is not a consequence of the past itself, but of our reaction to it. It is an emotion we choose to hold on to, a judgment we cast upon ourselves, often with undue harshness. We must learn to break free from this self-imposed prison. To do so, we must practice what the Stoics called Apatha, a state of being free from the disturbance of unnecessary passions. Regret, when undue, is one such passion. It clouds our judgment, weakens our resolve, and robs us of the clarity needed to live in accordance with virtue. And virtue, as the Stoics knew, is the only true good. Accepting the unchangeable. One of the core tenets of Stoicism is the acceptance of what we cannot control. This includes the past. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us time and again to focus on what lies within our power and to let go of what does not. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. To overcome undue regret, we must first internalize this truth. We cannot change the past, no matter how much we might wish to. We can, however, change our perspective on it. Imagine for a moment the futility of dwelling on past mistakes. The energy you expend on regret is energy that could be used to better your present and future. The Stoics would urge you to redirect that energy, to focus on what can be done now, rather than what should have been done then. This is the essence of Stoic resilience, seeing every obstacle, including regret, as an opportunity for growth. Marcus Aurelius offers us another gem of wisdom in this regard. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Regret may feel like an impediment, a barrier to our peace of mind. But what if we viewed it differently? What if, instead of seeing regret as a chain that binds us, We saw it as the catalyst for transformation. In acknowledging our past mistakes without becoming enslaved by them, we can use them as stepping stones to wisdom, to a life lived in greater alignment with reason and virtue. Mastering the present moment. To live without undue regret is to live fully in the present. The Stoics taught that the only time we truly possess is the present moment. The past is gone, the future uncertain. All we have is now. Seneca, in his writings, often warned against the dangers of living in the past or future at the expense of the present. Life is long if you know how to use it, he said. And how do we use it? By focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, our virtues, in this very moment. Regret distracts us from this focus. It drags our attention backward, away from the present moment where our true power lies. But by practicing mindfulness, by grounding ourselves in the here and now, we can free ourselves from the grip of regret. This is not an easy task. It requires discipline, the kind of discipline the Stoics were known for. But with practice, it becomes possible. We train our minds to let go of what cannot be changed and to embrace what can be. Epictetus, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, gave us a simple yet profound teaching. Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. These words carry within them the very essence of Stoic thought. Regret, when undue, is born from the belief that we should have done something differently. But the past is no longer in our power. What is in our power is how we choose to live in this moment. Will we let regret continue to sap our strength, or will we rise above it, fortified by reason and resilience? Turning regret into wisdom. The Stoics were not indifferent to human emotion. They understood that feelings of regret, sorrow, and disappointment are natural responses to mistakes or missed opportunities. But they also understood that these emotions need not define us. Regret, when used wisely, can become a teacher. It can offer us insights into our character, our values, and our weaknesses. But it must be approached with a clear mind, free from the distortions of undue self-judgment. In this way, we can transform regret from a destructive force into a constructive one. We can learn from our past actions without becoming trapped by them. As Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor man perfected without trials." Our mistakes, our regrets, are the friction that polishes our character, but only if we approach them with wisdom, with the understanding that they are part of the process of becoming who we are meant to be. Regret need not be the end of the story. It can be the beginning of a new chapter, one in which we are wiser, stronger, and more resolute in our pursuit of virtue. The Stoics would have us view each moment of regret as an opportunity to grow, to refine our character, and to align ourselves more closely with reason and nature. The role of self-forgiveness. In the Stoic tradition, much is said about forgiveness, both of others and of oneself. Self-forgiveness is a vital part of overcoming undue regret. To forgive oneself is not to excuse one's actions or to deny responsibility. Rather, it is to recognize that we are all imperfect beings, striving toward virtue, but often falling short. Self-forgiveness allows us to acknowledge our mistakes without being consumed by them. It is the act of releasing the grip of regret and moving forward with purpose. Epictetus reminds us that no man is free who is not master of himself. To be a master of oneself is to be free from the destructive emotions that cloud our judgment and hinder our growth. Regret, when left unchecked, is one such emotion. But through self-forgiveness, we can reclaim our inner freedom. We can let go of the past, not by ignoring it, but by accepting it and learning from it. In forgiving ourselves, we create space for growth, for progress, for the pursuit of virtue. We free ourselves from the cycle of self-blame and open the door to a future unburdened by the mistakes of the past. This is the Stoic way, to strive always for improvement while accepting the reality of our imperfections. Conclusion: the path forward. We, who seek to live by Stoic principles, know that life is filled with challenges, setbacks, and moments of regret. But we also know that we are not defined by these moments. We are defined by how we choose to respond to them. The Stoic path is one of resilience, of fortitude, of unwavering commitment to the pursuit of virtue. It is a path that leads us away from the destructive emotions of undue regret and toward a life of peace, wisdom, and inner strength. Let us then embrace this path with all the strength we can muster. Let us cast off the shackles of regret and walk forward with purpose, knowing that true mastery lies in our ability to let go of what we cannot change and to focus on what we can. Let us, in the words of Marcus Aurelius, live not as if you have 1,000 years ahead of you. Fate is at your elbow. Make yourself good while life and power are still yours. The time for regret is over. The time for mastery begins now. Together, we walk this path, fortified by the wisdom of the Stoics, unshaken by the weight of the past, and ever focused on the possibilities that lie ahead. Now take this moment to reflect. What regrets are you still holding on to? What power are you giving away to the past? It's time to make a choice. Will you continue to allow regret to shape your present? Or will you rise above it and take control of your life? The Stoics have shown us the way, but it's up to us to walk it. Today, take action. Write down one regret that haunts you and then, beside it, write a lesson you've learned from it. Then let it go. Take that first step toward reclaiming your mind and mastering your emotions. Live with intention. Live with purpose. Remember, the past is beyond your control, but your response is always within your grasp. We walk this journey together, empowered, resilient, and free from the burdens that no longer serve us. The future is yours to shape. The time to act is now.